I'm cold steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpents daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. I'm gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon. Come cold blood, selfish. Your words are painless. I like when I drive and feel so dangerous. They say I'm a red flag, 'cause they want it so bad. You should know I'm holding on to what I had. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon. I used to view you as a mountain that I couldn't climb at first. But I've only stumbled over diamonds, and I no longer fear the worst. I'm trying to get to you. Yeah, I'm trying to get to you. I wanna get to you, 'cause I gotta get to you. I would climb 1,000 mountains, swim across the darkest ocean, 'cause I'm trying to get to you. Yeah, I'm trying to get to you. I wanna get to you, 'cause I gotta get to you. I gotta get to you. You have habits just like me. Talk too much with strangers. Get way too serious around family. And I don't have any wishes, but when I kiss you, our lips fit well. And I don't have expectations, but when I daydream, I fall asleep, and our hands melt. It started out as teasing, but I had deeper meaning when I touched your chest. Now I don't know how to act, but if I did,
Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us. Sorry about the delayed start, but we are here for week 6 of NECC League of Legends action. My name is Yanni. I am joined here by Alk. Alk, it's the Army West Point Black Knights versus Dalhousie University Tigers. This is going to be a really fun matchup, especially from what we've been told about this Dalhousie team specifically.
Yeah, Dalhousie decided to drop an entire encyclopedia on themselves in your DMs in particular, so I'm really appreciative that they wanted to share this much information with us. And I mean, we're looking at the standings for this group right now, and it kind of feels like it's anybody's race for 4th and 3rd. Currently, Army West Point and Queen's University are all at 3-1, Dalhousie at 3-2. Now, I will say there is a unrecorded Queen's University matchup from week 1 for Army West Point, which could make them 3-2 or 4-1. And that could potentially also be a big tiebreaker there.
And not only that, when you compare these two teams, you take a look at the differential, right? Now, I don't think the Army West Point differential is 100% correct. I think they have one more loss than they should. But regardless of that, I mean, Dalhousie 7-7. They are quite literally 500 in terms of game wins and losses. Obviously 3-2, a little bit closer than that. But Army West Point has shown so far in their matches, at the very least, that they play a cleaner game.
I would hope so. It's West Point, damn it! Like, you and I are both American. We know all about West Point, or we know enough about West Point that they should be ahead of the game. If you don't know, West Point is essentially the military academy in the U.S., in the United States. So to have them here is obviously going to be, we have some high expectations, especially when you think about it's called the CAVE, which is an acronym that I don't remember right now, but essentially it's for audio and visual simulations. It's part of their room that they use for military sims, but they've then built that out to be even bigger for their JV part.
Yeah, it's so wild. What is that acronym? I honestly can't remember, but it's just cool. It's just a cool name too. It's like so ominous. It's like, oh yes, we're in the cave. They're playing out of the cave. Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps type stuff. We'll see if Army West Point's gonna live up to their nature of playing tight, controlled games. I
found it.
You got the acronym?
These teams are based in an esports facility that is part of the CAVE, Computer Assisted Virtual Environment. Boom. Constructed to support the West Point Simulation Center. I found it.
Yeah, that acronym made me initially think like Sword Art Online type stuff. They're topping on the nerve gear, and they're playing in the game for real.
I cannot continue that joke for the sake of both the people on the broadcast and the sponsors. So, I think it's really cool, and I know historically the military of the U.S. has had really, really cutting-edge simulation tech that helped even pioneer other games, like Call of Duty ended up becoming something that found a lot of success thanks to its military simulations very early on, and eventually kind of got booted forward in its kind of progeneration. So we're going to move away from West Point. We also wanted to talk about their opponent team here, Dalhousie, who is going to be on a little bit of a upward struggle here in today's matchup. At least rank-wise, they're going to be a little bit shorter or falling short than their opponents, but from what we have heard from their team rep, it seems like this team is not only both really aggressive, but also really, really good when it comes to their coordination.
Yeah, definitely the edge to West Point, but again, as you said, it's not a very, very large gap. This is very much still a winnable series for Dalhousie. And I mean, this team, Dal LPL, right, is what they call themselves. And they're an entire Chinese team, and they apparently embody the spirit of the LPL. So you and I will be the judges of that all, because we head into the draft here for Game 1 of this best of 3 series. Remember that we are in Fearless.
Okay. So Dalhousie with blue side, they're going to be getting rid of Zed. If I am correct, we are also playing on live patch, so I don't think many of the teams are going to really be super affected by the patch notes, but I know that we did see some big jungle changes, and in general, I'm always interested to see what we're going to get from some of our collegiate students here, because with how large this entire NECC kind of umbrella is, there are so many different players that play incredibly niche League of Legends.
We're seeing a big focus on the mid lane here. That's Swarm. There's top 2 champions, at least on the season, getting banned out. The Zed OTP. So we'll have to see what you're able to put up off of Zed. Taking a look at that OP.GG of his earlier. There's a lot of kills, as Zeds will normally do. A lot of really flashy scorelines. Meanwhile, Army West Point banning out a lot of these supportive picks that Dalhousie really likes to play.
So, looking at what they gave us for Dalhousie, I'm kind of confused. So, we have a top side, weak side player. We have jungler, Loon Celine, who is totally okay with taking the L. And then you have a low resource mid laner and the best player in your team, who is your AD carry, Harry. How do we have 4 weak side players and 1 strong side? That's not usually a good recipe for success.
It's just NRG. I'm sorry, not NRG, RNG. Wrong acronym. It's just RNG. They exist to lift up their AD carry. And
Shallow was good, though.
Yeah, this is gonna true. This is gonna lend credence to that as they're gonna lock in an Ornn first pick.
Ooh, okay. Ornn, the immediate answer of the Braum. I like that. So at least Army West Point showing that whether it's the players or the coach who's drafting, we are at least thinking a little bit more than just our champions are the ones that we want to gravitate towards. So Braum makes sense. Mbessa is technically a flex, but I think Into the Ornn can actually provide a lot of really interesting scenarios, especially once you get that ultimate. You just get flat armor penetration or percent armor penetration just by having it. So I'd be interested to see where we're going to be sending this champion, and it seems almost like West Point are kind of pushing themselves into a dive composition.
Kaisa going to be the lock-in here for Dalhousie, so we could see double dive compositions, and you know how those can turn on their head really, really quickly, and Alistar is going to be the lock-in here, so not the typical pairing of the Nautilus, but something to try to keep this Mbessa at bay, perhaps.
All right, Alistar's good, Ornn is great. Now, let's get some damage in here. Let's get some long-range damage, because we are going to be seeing a Veigar, which Veigar plus Braum very realistically could actually show up in bottom lane. You know Kai'Sa's not going to have very much kill threat there for you, and Alistar super weak into this 2v2. So I like already what Army West Point are showing here. Again, you can always play flexibly with what champions they have access to right now, and unless we see some real damage dealers, and in particular some artillery mages, I do think that Dahl is actually going to start to find some problems in the mid-game.
I like that Veigar call out for the bot lane. Just, it's super chill down there when you're able to just farm up and have a good time, and I think this Veigar pick is pretty excellent into those 2 melees, and now the rest of Dal's composition is going to have to really be acutely aware of that cage and work around it. Second half of bans coming through. We're starting to see some AD carries get banned out by Dal, and meanwhile, Army West Point going back into the jungle.
Caitlyn, Ashe. I was about to say, I'm looking at the OPGGs for our players on Army West Point. I'm seeing Ashe. I'm seeing Jhin. You got rid of the Kaisa already, so starting to try to pinch the pool. I do think that Ashe has a lot of legs to stand on, but would be lacking in damage. There's the Aphelios, so this is going to be the Veigar heading into mid, and now later on in the draft, we'll see whether or not Army West Point are saving this Mbessa for a counter. I just like how much peel they have, and while they might not be the tankiest, so far Dahl haven't shown any real amount of damage. And the Malphite, I think, doesn't solve that.
No, not in the slightest. You are just getting tankier and tankier, sure, but what are you really achieving out of it is the question. Just see what this last pick for Dal is going to be. It's going to be the Mel coming out. I don't think that this team composition is very well put together, and it will fold to a Silas if they want to lock that in for like top or jungle.
Okay, I think Mel actually does solve some of the issues that I had with this team.
Okay.
Mel, yes, she did get nerfed, and this team is very magic damage reliant at this point, but the range that she offers and just the execution, she is really, really strong in the laning phase. And Veigar doesn't have super many tools. This is going to be that Zac going in, so expecting that this could be jungle. Although, in years past, Zac has been a great top lane answer into Ornn. I don't think we're going to be seeing that very much. I just think that this Mel actually kind of really well rounds this out. I'm just worried about having to play Mel into an Mbessa, into a Veigar cage, and a Zac. That just becomes really problematic, and I think puts a lot of emphasis on your Alistar having to be in position and being able to prevent any of these plays from happening.
Yeah, really going to have to be on top of stopping the Zac as well as that Ambessa. And it is going to be Zac in the jungle. A little bit surprised by that. Chaotic War, the jungler over on Army West Point, really likes to play aggressive carries out of the jungle. And I thought that maybe that would mean that we saw the Zac in the top lane, but not so. So, Alk, you'd mentioned that the early laning phase going in the favor of Mel. What do we need to see in order to consider this a success to be able to put this Veigar behind?
Well, I mean, if you can get a solo kill, very easy, by the way, on Mel. This champion, I don't know why they've given her the Omega Execute still on her passive, but we live in a society where Mel gets to exist. And her first item being Ludens, you can always outpoke the Veigar. Just making sure that we're up on CS, I think, is going to be a success for Dalhousie, and protecting her is super important. So I want to see whether or not our junglers are going to be getting active in the mid lane, or if we're going to be seeing early coverage from, early vision or just putting down wards.
Yeah, now taking a look at this bottom lane a little bit, it's a tale of two different carries, right? Because, if you go into the late game, Kai'Sa can be pretty good, but really won't hold a candle to this Aphelios. So I think we're really looking for a mid-game spike out of Dalhousie. I just don't know if their team, these carries, have what it takes to be able to take advantage of that into this Army West Point squad.
Yeah, so before we saw the Mel, it was, okay, Malphite ult or an ultimate, someone's going to be trying to go in on the squishies like the Veigar or the Aphelios, but now with the Mel, that kind of feels like the thing that's going to knock the dominoes over that have been set up. You now have all of the damage you're going to have access to, the execute as well. The only point that I will give to West Point here is that I do think Ambessa, when she hits 3 items, becomes a super powerhouse, and I think it's very, very tough to deal with.
Game 1 of this best of 3 series starts now. Dalhousie versus Army West Point. Already Loon Celine spotting out multiple members. We'll see if Swarm can sneak any stacks before the minion wave comes in.
I was just recently looking back on some old MSI footage,
Ooh.
and I totally forgot we had a meta where it was Camille versus Zac top lane. Oh
my goodness.
I just blanked that out of my mind from 2024.
What a time to be alive that was, man.
Yeah, and now we have Season 16, which is arguably one of the best seasons we've had in a very long time, so especially at the start of a season. So I'm very happy with where the league is at. I know that fans at home and players are pretty much, I think, universally on the good side of where we've landed reaction-wise to the patch.
Yeah, I know I am. I'm a little upset that I wasn't able to play as much ranked as I liked at the start of the year because my champions were really, really good at the start.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. Game health is what's paramount. I really like it. I do wish Grubs were a little bit stronger. I know that pre-nerf they were really oppressive. It feels like we still need to strike the proper balance between that objective.
I am okay with Grubs how they are because there are turret plates back in the game. If every turret didn't have turret plates, I would agree with you. However, if you get either like maxed out 3 Grubs where it was like really, really OP, or if we go back to 6, GG, this game's not playable anymore. We are throwing the game at 5 minutes at 8 minutes for Grubs, and if we don't get them, GG, I'm leaving. That's kind of how that goes. How are we
double
winning
knock up
this,
in the
by
bot
way?
lane? Yeah, they tagged Chaewon big time. You're gonna be able to hold on to all of their summoners as Easy King drops his ignite. Meanwhile, Eternal Moon down to the mid lane, lands the root onto the Veigar, and picks up first blood.
There you go. This champion has really obnoxious range, and if you don't have either a dash, a ton of movement speed, or some way to block all of her spells, she will just whittle you out of lane. So, great job already coming in from Eternal Moon, and I am just surprised at how this bot lane is turning out, because you are playing Kai'Sa Alistar. You should have 0 priority in this lane. You should have very little windows to actually get damage down onto an Aphelios and a Braum. And already they've done a lot of good work there. They didn't get any summoner spells, yes, but we are slightly ahead, if not even right now. And, I mean, the game is going great. My mid laner just got a solo kill.
Yeah, I think this bot lane is the reason why they had such good trading down there. Easy King loves playing these engaged champions. And these guys, Harry and Easy King, they love 2v2ing down in the bot lane. They will fight you pretty much under any circumstance. Regardless of whether or not it looks favorable, they will choose to fight regardless. We're seeing Lune Celine show up in the mid lane here, give Eternal Moon a little bit of a hover to make sure this wave gets in and get some movement from there.
I think the more easy way to explain that is he went for respawn raptors, and he's like, now I'm going to go back to my respawn raptors, and I'm going to go and finish off my camps. He just was like, I'm just going to walk through mid. It's okay. They have the timer as well. It seems for now he'll continue to have mid priority. If I'm Lune Celine and I know that I have an answer from my mid laner, I would much rather just go in, steal this, and get level 6 on my Malphite.
Restia with a Searing Charge to dodge out on a gank from Chaotic War. It does get pulled in, but Nico is so low that doesn't look like there's a whole lot they can do.
Yeah, you are not winning this, by the way, because he lands another Grasp proc, and it's kind of GG. Another thing, if we're going to be here to really just complain about Mel the whole time, why did they put on her Reflect that the ability that gets sent back is faster than the original movement speed? There is no reason for that.
Yeah, I don't like that. I also don't like that skill shots like curve toward the enemy a little bit. Like from the moment I saw that
for noobs. They made it for noobs so that it hits noobs easier. So
yeah, I still don't like that. Like I don't think that's very cool. Like why should this ability? Why should like a Lux Binding curve? Like that ability should not do that. There's a reason why it doesn't.
Who knows? Who knows?
That's like if you reflected Diana Q and firing back straight.
Well, that's different because Diana would never do anything like that. Knowing her lore anyway. So, no start on any of the objectives. We haven't had any kind of movement towards Dragon. This is a moment here where they do have priority on bot side, but Chaotic is on this side of the map. They could actually look for something. I would actually prefer to try to get Kai'Sa summoner spells out and maybe even force a situation where Alistar has to get trapped in lane before the grub spawn. But Malphite's still level 5. He's going to get topside Scuttle. He's going to get his upgraded Smite here. And I'm not really seeing all that much coming in from Army West Point because maybe they feel like they haven't gotten too much action, but I feel like their draft allows for them to take early skirmishes.
Yeah, they certainly can. One of the big problems they have, though, is down on this bottom half of the map, there's so much scaling coming out of the Veigar and the Aphelios that while you do have impact to be able to have, your big hitter is this Ambessa up in the top lane that is in a matchup where they're kind of content to just farm it out. As opposed to really join some fights. And speaking of fights, we're going in for another full 2v2. We're looking to lock up the Kai'Sa here. Stuns are going to come out, but the cleanse is immediate. Chaewon's got a lot of health, but he's going to flash away, and now Kai'Sa is forced to flash away as well. Easy King needs to find a way out. One auto attack, more for a stun, but no further damage to come out.
And now there's just Malphite here with level 6, and they have no wards.
Flash, ultimate, knockups are there. It's beautifully played. A great gank from Lune Celine.
Okay, they did exactly what I wanted to, but this time it's from Dalhousie. I said we'll bring our jungler here, we create conditions for us to start the dragon or get multiple summoner spells. That's exactly what we see from them. Humongous job, I think, from Dalhousie to not only get themselves 2 assists, a kill there for their Kai'Sa, but now we're also giving over plates, we're getting the first dragon, all while Chaotic has really done not much. He went towards mid, wasn't able to get anything. Restia still has flash.
Oh, under the turret, looking to trade back on a Nico, who is now quite low. Call the Forge God coming in, forces the flash out of Ambessa, but he's still on an island. Chaotic War looking to try and get there in time. See if he predicts it.
Was on vision the entire time there, by the way. So, really good stuff. He's going to look for one. I mean, he gets the ward? The smite?
No!
Okay.
The ward killed him. No.
Look, something had to go well here for Army West Point, or else the game was
Sure.
extremely cooked. So, good job. They got the Ambessa. Nothing but a couple of minions and another turret plate, which is nice. Being up 30 is great for the Ambessa, and we did note that if she's able to get to 2 and 3 items, she does become very dangerous, but I do think that that's kind of win condition starts to get pushed back a little bit when you look at the other lanes, especially if Mel is keeping up. Then it becomes a bit problematic, which, by the way, I did want to note, Mel does have a unique quest versus Ambessa once they both hit level 16, I think. There's no additional buffs, no one gains like bonus armor or bonus AP or anything. It's a small little bit of flavor text on Ambessa's buffs, so it is very cute.
Whoa, man, that's so sad. My Ambessa will be missing out on AP? That's crazy.
I know. I know.
Unbelievable. Riot, please. Grub's going to get started up here by the side of Dalhousie after they picked up that dragon for themselves. Should be quite happy with that. Headbutt, not going to land the pulverize on top of it, but a lot of damage getting dumped into this Braum right now, down to below half HP.
Looks like we're fighting over Grubs. A 3-on-3, I think I would prefer to be dull, but if they just land a good engagement, I think West Point is significantly easier to execute. It's going to be one Grub going over to the Tigers, while West Point, the Black Knights will simply just walk away with 2 Grubs, which is fine. I want to see Ambessa abuse this. Let's try to take the entire turret soon. Already we're seeing NECC really start to slam this Ornn in the 1v1, and the wave is in such a good spot. It's pushing away from them as well. It's really, really good.
Yeah, NECC's been doing a great job of keeping the wave on their side for the most part, as mentioned, so it does mean that we've had a large gap in CS, about 30 for the moment, and it's only going to get wider, so it's really just a quest of how much can Dalhousie push the envelope. We're going to need to see Loon Celine make more plays like the one on the bot lane. They do have the Unstoppable Force available, but with the way that Mel pushes, Swarm hasn't really been in too many positions to be engaged on lane.
They just go again for bottom lane. They have no wards here. I feel bad for Army West Point, but we got to put wards in the river. You know there's going to be a Malphite coming. I think they win this 1v2, by the way.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, right over the wall. Chaewon couldn't stand a chance. Malcott going to be the next target, but that Braum shield is going to soak up a heck of a lot. Still a nice play.
Huge wave as well. Like, this just goes even. Kai'Sa gets to recall if she wants to. It seems like they want the next wave and maybe a turret plate. Already had the Kraken Slayer. That is a pretty painful death if you're the Aphelios, who is still trying to farm up your coal at the same time here. So 4-1, Dalhousie with a 2,000 gold lead. We were told that they are a very aggressive team in the early game, but it's all about those mid-game throws. Apparently it is a patent-pending mid-game throw that'll come out from this team. So West Point will have some, hopefully, room to recover on their side.
Yeah, and I really worry about that mid-game throw, especially in this game. If you allow a Veigar and an Aphelios who were behind time to get into the game, you essentially spell doom for yourself. These are champions that you can not allow off the hook when you've already put this sort of pressure on them. We're now seeing Rod of Ages come out from Swarm. Still no boots actually hitting the inventory yet, which I think, you know, free boots are free boots, but against a Mel, you really want to pay for your boots, I'm going to be honest.
Sure, I do think that trying to just get your item is a little bit more important in this instance, because usually Rod of Ages combination cost is 450, so boots is going to be 300, and suddenly you're not going to be done with your Rod of Ages in time. So in this instance, yes, typically I would agree that boots is going to be really important, but just having access to the Rod of Aegis, you can get it stacking. The bonus HP and mana that you get access to also is very, very strong. So in all, I don't know. If he gets solo killed again, then sure. I think we can then have a conversation that maybe the boots did end up being super impactful. But right now he's actually going fairly even, down a little bit in terms of CS, but this next dragon, I think, is going to really, really decide a lot of the game, at least for the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Loon Celine up a level in the jungle right now, taking a little bit of poke. It's always the trouble when you have a Malphite into AP or magic damage champions like the Zac and the Veigar. You saw a lot of damage come out there, but with the priority we've gotten out of the bot lane, looks like Dalhousie should be able to walk into this dragon pit and start it up. Army West Point, though, not really willing to give it up for free. Chaewon does have red-white. Has that Moonlight Vigil as well. We're going to engage onto Chaotic Warrior, who's going to get in, land knock-up onto the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa ults out of there, and the peel ultimate from Loon Celine, but the flash over the wall, because Swarm is going after. He flashed forward, but the Golden Eclipse took him out. Chaewon's got red and white, but he doesn't really want to get in this fight. NECC goes very deep and does not come out alive. Dalhousie picks up 4.
Massive win there for Dalhousie, because they'll get these 4 kills, they'll get the dragon, and look at topside, Ornn's also getting plates. Extremely expensive play there for West Point. Just play out. Look at the difference in our items right now. We have a 2-item stacked Rod of Ages versus a Blackfire Torch. We have a Kraken Slayer and a pickaxe versus an uncompleted Yuntal's Wild Arrows. Why are we ever going for that fight? Dalhousie comes out massive for this play.
Well, with early game plays like that, you might need to worry less and less about the mid-game throws, Alk, as this lead is starting to get pretty large, 4,500 for the current moment. But again, the scaling is still very, very large. It's just a matter of how far ahead can they get over the next couple of minutes. If you're up 8K at 20 minutes, I don't think all the scaling in the world is going to save you.
Yeah, and I want to remind everybody that scaling is relative, right? Scaling is always relative to the team that you're playing up against, the players and the champions are going to be up against. And Kai'Sa, I think in a later game, yes, if we are going to be playing just strictly 5-on-5s where we are front to back looking at each other, Aphelios in most instances can win. Veigar can do the same, but I think when you have a Kai'Sa with a Malphite, suddenly you have this explosive dive composition where Kai'Sa is destroying whoever she lands on with her ultimate, and even if you want to get on top of her, she still has that killer instinct to get away, so that flexibility that you get access to, Eternal, should be fine.
Nice sidestep there, but now we're going to flash on top of Eternal with the cage on top as well, and that's going to be a shutdown going over to Swarm.
That's good. And what I was basically going to mention is that these are the kinds of plays that we need to be punishing. No flash, no cleanse on Kai'Sa. No flash on Mel, gank her. Get the shutdowns onto your carries so that you can at least coast through the mid game and get your Veigar into this strong spot at like 20 minutes where he has essentially like 500 to 600 AP. You drop down a bunch of your spells, you can hopefully one-shot a squishier member here. And in that cage, when we get into standoffs, super broken. So good job for West Point. They'll also grab at least a plate in mid lane, but still, I'm thinking those two dragons sitting for themselves, and it's a Hextech Soul.
Uh-oh, Swarm.
Very, very dangerous.
Yeah, just on the edge of that AoE. Easy King is here just in case he had to knock him back, but Eternal Moon's going to pick that one up, and now we're going to shift over to a Rift Herald for Dalhousie.
You get Rift Herald, you get to control all of the top side. Now, if Restia is a true gangster, we're not even walking for this. I'm hitting topside plates, and you guys just, like,
have fun.
Hit the plates. Yeah, let my Ornn get gold. But that's not going to happen. Maybe there's a play on bot side. Right now, we do see that Kai'Sa is 1v2 under the lane. Does have a ward in the Tribrush, and we'll see Zac land here. With 2 grubs, I want to see if West Point will try to squeeze for more plates. I think if we can get 3 plates here, we're very happy campers, but not enough damage currently, especially with the differential that's happening in bot lane.
Yeah, just the fear that they have for this Kai'Sa. Listen, whenever you see a Kai'Sa that's got Chinese characters above their name, God, you know that you gotta fear it.
Yeah. Dalhousie has made the joke, as we said, Dal LPL, and their AD carry, at least champion pool-wise, they were known for reminding them of a certain Chinese AD carry. One of potentially one of the players that has a Hall of Legends skin. So we're seeing the gap start to rise just across the lanes. Thank you to our observers for showing the gold differentials currently.
Yeah, 1,000 gold down in the bot lane, 500 in the mid lane. This jungle, though, has been largely dominated by Lune Celine. Chaotic War, that one gank that happened in the mid lane, plus the luck of the ward, is the only reason why they have all the skill participation. Other than that, a rather muted game.
As I've said many times in my life, better lucky than good.
True.
Okay? You can play the best you can in 99% of the game, but if your top deck sucks at the last turn or you need to get lethal, then it never mattered. You know, you can play a game and then you lose anyway. So, right now,
how would you accurately describe my Summoner skirmish recently?
Because on average, it's going to happen to a lot of people. So,
Eternal Moon, yeah, you can't reflect that, my friend. You can land a double root, but you get knocked into the side. Swarm was not knocked up by Lune Celine, and now they find themselves in a 2v1 against the magic damage dealers. Nothing more that they're able to get out of it.
Notice how Eternal Moon did not have flash quite yet. Perfect timer there from West Point. Great job from them. All in all, across the map, though, it is going to mean that the AD carry Harry is going to be picking up the first turret.
Right, stun down on the Malcott. They might look for a turn on the Easy King. They're going to stun him up. They've been hitting him with Gravitum as well. He's going to get rooted on top of it. Chaotic War trying to get onto Harry, but Harry is just fine. Easy King manages to find a way out with a headbutt. Resty is in the middle of the fight, but now Nico is going to land and is going to make a beeline right for this Kai'Sa. But Kai'Sa's in the middle of the fight. Doesn't care. Whoa. Goes in, flashes out, and now Nico is getting peeled. They're forced to flash out. Are we going to have a forward charge coming through? Restia got stunned up with the Veigar cages, putting in so much work. Dalhousie still comes out good in the fight.
Go for Dragon. Go for Dragon. Yeah, we have this Malphite. We know their Zac is dead. And again, Kaisa is almost 2 items here. NECC, no flash, no teleport, no ultimate. I think this is a huge desperation play.
Go. Stuck in the back of the pit right now is this Kaisa. Swarms on the way, so is Chaewon. Half HP. Takes a Q to the face. It's a live flash, double root. And that's gonna do it with a golden eclipse. Dragon secured and a double kill for Eternal Moon.
Soul Point and 2 extra kills on top of that. Dalhousie look incredible during this game. The early game went well for them in the bottom lane. This Mel has really turned it out in the early. And now we're at 19 minutes here, Yanni. 7,000 gold lead, effectively speaking. 3 dragons. I'm extremely happy if I'm from Dalhousie's perspective right now.
Couldn't agree more. This is exactly what the doctor ordered when you play a comp like this into Scalers. Loon Celine has been very proactive. That last fight was a taste of that aggression that we were told about and that this team loves to play with. I mean, Harry is 4-0-5, is on 2.5 items. At 19 minutes, you can't find yourself in a better spot as a Kaisa.
Oh, we just lose this.
Oh, the interrupt on the knockup. Chaotic War ulting desperately to try to get away, but Loon Celine dropping the Ensemble Force now. Easy King with the dive, hits up the turret as well, and says goodbye to Chaewon.
Yeah, that is a 2-item Kaisa. Like, we're never fighting this, even if we were even on items here. And we're not. We're an item and a half as is Aphelios. A turret goes down in mid, and guess what? With a Rift Herald after that, they'll grab a second turret. And I mean, they might even look for the inhibitor turret here as well. This is a huge influx of gold. They're going to have 10,000 gold lead here at 22 minutes.
Yeah, it has exploded, just like Eternal Moon was exploded up on the top side. And looks like Army West Point have decided to wisely sacrifice their inhibitor turret. Sometimes in war, you must make sacrifices.
I think they didn't have a choice on that sacrifice. That was a forced hand coming in from Dalhousie on their half. Now, look, if we're talking about sacrifices or gains being made, you mentioned already what happened top lane. A hold. Goodbye, NECC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chaotic War, cancel that. Cancel that. Get out of there.
Yeah. Veigar did just get a kill, a solo kill, and got an objective bounty alongside it. So, all in all, it's actually not all that bad, but still, being down 8,000 gold at this point, it's kind of tough. And I'm assuming that Harry is actually going to recall and finish a 3rd item, in which case, we're not fighting this next dragon, which means we're losing the game. So, something needs to happen here for West Point, where we catch out multiple members before the objective. Otherwise, the game just kind of ends on the spot once this thing spawns.
Terminus completed for Harry, and it's very apt because this may spell the end for Army West Point. 2 minutes until that dragon, as you mentioned, that Infernal Soul. Why does a Kaisa need more damage? Well, because they feel like it.
Actually, it's a Hextech Soul. It's just
I'm sorry. I'm silly.
Yep.
That's listen. You know what? That's even worse.
I know. That's why, most souls end the game right there. And they can, honestly, they don't have vision of where the Veigar is. He's here now.
Yeah, Easy King locked up in the cage. Double knockup is there. Avoids the stun, but it's taken a while for anybody to get nearby. And that's a shutdown for Chaewon.
That's good. That's good. That's a player that's down. That means that now we can establish vision, start to get control of this area. Already, NECC is pushing on the top side. If we can get them a second item, maybe this game has some legs to stand on. But, I mean, you're still going to have this guy spawning before the dragon is up, and you have Hextech portals, which just means he gets to move around the map for free even quicker. So, if I was Army West Point right now, I'd be playing... NECC plays into mid, we're having my bot duo play in the jungle alongside my Zac, and then we're just trying to secure this bottom side with all of these crystalline overgrowths. I want to get the objective bounty. I want to try to get my Veigar even more gold here as he gets closer to a death cap.
532 stacks for this Veigar, 255 now of the passive. That is so strong. The sheer damage that can come out of this champion, one of my favorite champions to play, for this exact reason, because no matter how poorly the game can go, you can do things like that and chunk out these tanky targets.
Baron with Mel Kaisa? Honestly, I would have respected the hell out of it. But Observers, real quick, can we press X? I just real quick want to see Veigar's gold currently in inventory. We're about 20 seconds before this objective. TP coming in from Nico. Okay, he has 200 gold. He hits this bot lane wave. He maybe gets another plate, and he's able to teleport. He will have his death cap. He's 100 gold more. 2100 is the magic number.
As long as you can keep Dalhousie away, things are okay. Eternal Moon is going to be up on this top side to take out this turret. Does have teleport themselves, but also means it's a little bit harder for Dalhousie to start a fight. A couple less angles, and as you said, Swarm taking this recall. Nobody on this dragon quite yet.
Give it to me. Come on. Just wait, guys. All we're doing is we're playing time, playing space. We got rid of our teleport shield. That's big. That's an aggressive for TP. Swarm. This is 700 AP Veigar.
All right, Swarm has arrived. Lands a double stun, but nobody's really there to follow up. Zac waiting, double knockup is there. We're looking for Harry. Harry manages to escape, sidesteps Nico. It is completely safe. Call the Forge God came through as well, but it's just front to back. Flashes over the wall, and you knew the Kaisa was just gonna take over. It was just a matter of time. That's a double kill. We're gonna call it a triple kill as well once we land this W, or one more auto attack. Somebody's gonna be able to claim Nico, and I think it... All right, Harry, come on, you can finish this off. There we go.
Hey!
There's our ace. Our dragon is being done as well. And that should be the cherry on top of this game, Hulk.
Yeah, just a really clean team fight, I think, there from Dalhousie. A bit of a couple of mistakes coming in from Army West Point. I mean, the Veigar ultimate going into the Ornn, not my favorite, and then we just don't have enough setup there. Obviously, when you are playing a Zac, in my opinion, you really want to be the team that is going first into a play. So, yeah, Baron alongside this. The game should just end within the next 2 minutes here. Really strong stuff, I think, we've seen from them in this game number 1. And I think a lot of good power picks already gone, thanks to Fearless.
I really want to see what Dalhousie's going to pull out in this next game. You know, I'm also interested to see what Army West Point's got, because this was a unique composition that really didn't come together the way that I'm sure they had hoped. I mean, seeing Zac Veigar as your mid-jungle duo, it's not a super exciting one. We saw a lot of the synergy, and it'd be fairly positive. I am interested to see if they have another duo like this in the back pocket, because we did see Swarm get target banned in this game.
That is true. We'll see what else we have. Remember those second phase bans, Caitlyn and Ashe from Dalhousie. Do you think that Ashe would have been maybe a little less damage? Also, you never want to reflect an Ashe ultimate. That's just very sad.
Well, the Forge Out was blocked. Good flash from Chaewon. Malcott going to be able to get back to his AD carry, so we get a lot out of Dalhousie.
Yeah.
They're continuing to shove forward. It's a flash Malphite ultimate, and Harry says, I'll get into the middle of the fight. Goes Golden to avoid a lot of the damage, but does get knocked up. But Veigar does on the other side, too. Unable to get close. Public Execution doesn't find Harry. Harry is still somehow alive, but Chaotic War will flash on him, and now this Veigar cage is going to get a lot of value. Look at the damage coming up with the Golden Eclipse. Will slam the door shut on Army West Point. A triple kill for Eternal Moon, and it's game 1 to Dalhousie.
That was as good of a fight as it was going to get there for Army West Point. Unfortunately, they will fall here in this game number 1 as Dalhousie, from start to finish, whether it's the Mel or this Kaisa in the bottom lane, they kind of just completely demolished Army West Point here in this game 1.
Oh no, Eternal Moon ate the entire Moonlight Vigil. Alright, at least the Nexus died before Chaewon could die another time. 26 kills to 8. Dalhousie, listen, they lived up to that name, Alk. They lived up to the DalPL. These guys were really, really aggressive.
Yeah, really good stuff, I won't lie. You know, I was really excited about this bottom lane pair. I did say that they were going to be losing early. Turns out they completely stomped them in the 2v2s. Really good coordination there. And then mid lane gets a solo kill at 5 minutes. How else am I supposed to... What am I supposed to do? How do I solve that situation?
How can play?
Yeah. Also did not see the Mel get to 3 items, which is kind of sad. We did see Mel kill her at the very end, so Mel, unfortunately, we will not see the flavor text being added to Mbessa's buff bar.
What's the flavor text exactly?
So basically it is, if I literally just had this up, but it is took long enough is the name of the buff. And the text essentially reads something like, finally Mel has killed Mbessa, and then there's quotations indicating like spoken word from Mel, or from Mbessa, where she's kind of like, finally she had the strength to do it or something.
Love that. Love that. You know what else? I love this victory screen. It's beautiful.
I also love this victory screen.
You know, I gotta be honest. I have the Jinx rocket for the next explosion.
The finisher, yeah.
I think I might want this. It just looks so damn regal.
Too bad. Back to us.
Yeah, back to us, I guess. Unfortunate there. Really unfortunate for Army West Point. Dalhousie really brought the Dalhousie in that game, right? They cleaned up pretty easily. This bot lane was a struggle, right? And I was really, really impressed with the way we saw Harry and Easy King work together from those early trades that most would really not take in that matchup. They were just rolling from the word go.
And we didn't see too much from the Veigar, or from both Veigar and Zac, so hopefully in Game 2 we'll get a little bit more coming in from Army West Point. Folks, we are going to kick it to a short break here. We'll be back with Dalhousie versus Army West Point and the rest of this NEC Best of 3 series after this.
it cuts quite like a memory. Especially one that you're trying to forget.
Welcome back, everybody, to NECC League of Legends here on Thursday night. Game 1 was won by Dalhousie in pretty convincing fashion, Alk, as Army West Point, they're going to need to pull something else out here. It seems like the focused bands did a lot of work on their mid laner. We'll see if we're able to see a rebound out of them here in Game 2.
Yeah. I did want to take a look at the schedule going forward for them when we're talking about Division 3. This is East A, if you do have access to the NECC website. And we're a couple of weeks out. This is a little over the halfway point in the season. Actually, no, we are almost done. I completely misspoke. I got owned because I looked at the schedule, and there was like all the way from February 2nd to April 19th. But the last 4 tabs are completely empty with no matches scheduled. I'm assuming that's going to be for playoffs. So looking at this last week, I mean, if you're taking into consideration also the schedules of some of these teams right now, and if I go just to East A, March 16th, or at least at some point next week, we're going to be having Dalhousie play against St. Mary's University of Halifax, which is currently one of 2 teams that are sitting at the bottom, currently at 1-3. And then Army West Point are going to play against Boston University, who is the best team currently in this conference. So a win here, like we said, that alongside the unreported Queen's University match in their Week 1 could help potentially get them into playoffs or even a better seeding going there.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a win here from Dalhousie, right, we're looking at a 5-win team, which is definitely good enough for what's likely to be second, maybe third at worst. I would assume that Boston University is probably going to continue their reign of terror. We'll see how that shakes out. And for Army West Point, I mean, you could very quickly find yourselves in a bad spot. You take a loss here, you take a loss to Boston University, all of a sudden you're at 3-3 with this one more game that they still have to play that's kind of in limbo. There's a difference between being under and over 500, and definitely means a lot for playoffs. So they are going to have to tighten up here in the second game because they could quickly find themselves on the outside.
So, similar bans to what we had in game number 1. I mean, we're seeing Zethany Zedtano banned again. We're having Syndra taken away as well. Vi, Tom Kench. These were all very similar. These are the exact same bans in their exact same order we saw from Dahl. And West Point did have side select, so they wanted to get counterpick. I'm going to be pretty heavily judging them on what their counterpick is here, because you just lost. I would think you would want to have priority on getting first pick, but now I want to see what you're cooking up over there.
Levying some support bans over here at Easy King. It's the Tom Kench. It's the Nautilus, too. And we're going to get a first pick Rumble out for Restia. So we'll see if our weak side King is going to be able to display some dominance up against Nico.
I mean, Rumble is, I think, one of the easiest champions that requires gold but doesn't actually have to win the lane. Even at level 6, he kind of can just press equalizer and then say, cool, I've bought myself an entire recall if I really need it in bad situations. We're getting a Darius. I'm expecting this is going to go in top side. Versus Rumble, you don't have the easiest time playing the game, so I'm just wondering what else we're going to be able to see, how we're going to be augmenting this champion, especially if Dahl decide to either get more crowd control or just simply play a better ranged game than them.
Malcott has pulled out the Sona, and the response Thresh, you land a hook on the Sona, she is very, very dead, but if you're unable to do so and she can weave in and out and land a lot of these Qs, it can be a big pain for Thresh. Over on the side of Army West Point, I want to see them lock in a Sivir and just play a run at UComp with what they have going on right now.
Sivir would be nice. I think you do end up being a little bit worried about the 2v2 because Tristana early game has been gutted and her items just aren't as strong. We're getting an Ezreal. I don't think this is a decent enough counterpick. I think that both Thresh and Tristana deal with, I think, a lot of the answers right now that West Point are showing. I think the Sona is the one X factor that you were mentioning there. So we're going to go into the second phase of bans. Zehen is interesting. I just need to see a little bit more. I do want to see from Dalhousie what we're going to get from the jungle, because if we can get some kind of like skirmisher that is going to be able to really tie this team together, the ball really is in West Point's court into being able to prove their opposition wrong.
Oriana taken off the table. That's one of those champions that can always tie the room together. Aurora going to be banned out by Army West Point. Typically a good pick into the Rumble, but obviously the Darius already taking care of that. And, we'll see what we get out of the jungle again for Dalhousie, because Loon Celine loves playing these supportive champions. Typically, the Malphite, great engage, obviously able to help out the squad a lot. So we'll see if they want to lean toward this Xinjiao, perhaps, of just like, hey, I want to skirmish and have a good time. Karthus will be the lock-in for Army West Point.
This could be a Hecarim game. I mean, Loon Celine has a couple of Hecarim games this season, although 4 games played, 0% win rate. Was also banned in the last game. We're going to get the Diana. Diana could eat this Karthus alive, but I'm still looking at how we're going to be dealing with a Sona and a Darius in the mid game. So early on, I'm already seeing Dalhousie play strong lanes to allow this champion in the Diana to be able to play. Are we getting mid Nefiri?
It's mid Diana. That's Eternal Moon's best champion, most played champion. This is something that I was really excited to see when I was talking to Terrence about the squad, and we'll see how this mid Diana shakes out. Pantheon's going to be the final lock-in for Army West Point. Very fitting given their logo. So we're going to need to see this Pantheon make a lot of impact using that ultimate, cheat on this movement.
All right, we'll be able to make side plays. We'll be able to really open up the map. Hopefully this means that from Army West Point that we'll be playing towards the Darius. Let the Darius push out on sides, and then let the Pantheon punish whoever comes to answer him. This could be a very interesting draft. Now, in terms of engagements, West Point don't have very much. You got a Wall of Pain, and that's really just a slow from the Karthus. You're maybe asking for, like, Song of Celerity coming in from the Sona, and that's going to reduce your movement speed. And then, like, what else? I think you're asking a lot of your Pantheon to maybe have his flash up. So I'm a bit worried here for West Point. I think that if the game doesn't go well for them early, it's just going to snowball. And then the game's going to get out of control. Karthus not going to have time to scale. Ezreal's not going to have time to hit his 2 and 3 items. And then everything kind of crumbles at that point.
This is a mid Pantheon. How well brushed up on the Pantheon Diana mid lane matchup are you? Because we're gonna need some deep tech for the dark tech.
I don't think you need very deep tech. It is Pantheon versus a melee champion. Usually that does not go very well for the other melee champion. Pantheon is a great skirmisher. One of the only reasons we don't see him outside of the jungle very often is because he is extremely televised in terms of what he's able to do. But if you're able to just free farm, he is kind of strong, especially once he gets level 11. He gets additional armor penetration as part of his ultimate. I don't know why there's a bunch of AD champions where as soon as you put a point in their ult, they get more armor pen, but that just exists for some reason.
Agreed. It's BS.
Yeah. His level 1 through 3 versus Diana, super explosive. So I really want them to use the priority of this champion to either get themselves solo kills like we had saw in game 1 on the opposite side, or at the very least, just slow Dalhousie down. That is all I need to see from them. Slow them down so that Diana doesn't get too tanky, so that Nefiri doesn't become this menace, because Nefiri can become essentially the main character of this game, just hunting down squishies like Ezreal and Karthus.
Yeah, the Sona too, right? There's just so many juicy targets, and Karthus isn't the jungler to disrupt the Nefiri, right? So where's your disruption going to come from? Is it going to come from your solo lanes winning very, very hard and then working as a tandem duo for an invade? I mean, I think you're asking a lot out of that. I mean, you need to overwhelmingly win the lane.
Well, folks, for everyone at home, we are currently going through a bit of a bug. Oh, we're not going through a bug. I not only didn't misspeak, but I got bamboozled by production.
True.
So
your ban was
we're gonna be going
your ban was too easy to boozle. Oh, hold on. We actually have a pause. All right. So you know what? Maybe Maybe your ban wasn't easy enough to boozle. All right, you know what? I was bamboozled by your thought of being bamboozled. Anyway, no bamboozles here. We are going to take a very short break to get everything ironed out. So that way, when we're actually back, we'll be on Summoner's Rift for what could be the final game tonight as Dalhousie has a 1-0 lead. All right, everybody, welcome into Summoner's Rift for Game 2 of this best of 3 series between Dalhousie and Army West Point. We have double Ignite solo lanes. We have Ignite on your Thresh as well. Double Ignite solo lanes on each side. I hate the Ignite on the Thresh here.
This is beautiful. This is exactly how Mark Merrill and Brandon Beck imagined League would be. Taking our Summoner spell, our combat sums. Not everybody's taking TP. We're not using some random ghosts, just double Ignite in both of the lanes. We're even getting some Ignite, which is going to counter the heal. Beautiful. And we get a hook to start.
I love that. That's going to be good damage on to this Ezreal. So low. 150 HP. It's a tough lane to play from there.
That could have been a reason why we use our barrier and our heal. Chaewon's not going to even bother with the recall. He knows this wave's going to be pushing thanks to Tristana starting Explosive Charge, but they're just getting completely zoned out at this point. Like, such a great start already here for Dalhousie.
The recovery is going to be not inherently overly difficult, but if you keep taking hooks like that and damage like this, that's going to happen, especially on the Sona. It's going to be so hard. I mean, this bot lane of Dalhousie has been continuing to get advantages.
We're going to invade. Yeah, we're pushing this next wave. Thresh is going to walk into Tribrush after this wave gets pushed in. And look at where Neferi is. She's finishing off her Krugs right now. I mean, you have an option to potentially go into your top side, but you want to take blue buff away from this Karthus, who, by the way, no flash, went for exhaust. This is a really good angle that I think Dalhousie could use to essentially end the first 5 to 10 minutes from Army West Point.
All right, we're seeing those pings go in. Loon Selena's walking in. Did walk over that ward placed in the Tribrush, so they're well aware that Loon Selena's sliding in, and the question is, can they actually do anything about it? Are they actually that aware? Chaotic War does tag Loon Celine a couple of times. Swarm is now on the way.
The dogs are dead.
And the walls are starting to close in for Loon Celine. The team finally starting to get around to him. Easy King here is at level 2. Hook's going to go down to the Sona, but this is a 4v3. Stun down on this Nefiri. Going to go invulnerable, and it looks like Eternal Moon is heading back to the mid-wave.
I think that's fine. This is a good answer from Army West Point, because that could have been super catastrophic if multiple things had gone wrong. Seems like Loon Celine wasn't super paying attention, because as soon as the first Karthus Q comes in, you probably should just be dodging. And a lot of her early damage as Nefiri is put into her pack mates. So
400 gold lead very early, but nothing to really be that scared about, although Chaotic War getting a small lead over Loon Celine is something worth noting for the moment. Loon Celine still has an entire top side they have to clear, and Chaotic War still has an entire blue buff to take out. So that CS number looking a little slanted at the moment.
yeah, it ends up being really, really good. Now, Loon Celine's going for something interesting here. Getting vision on enemy Raptors, mostly to get the timer.
Eternal Moon with the Ignite.
Oh!
In and out, takes a turret shot, but gets the job done. It does end up being a 1-for-1.
Who cares? Waves pushing for Dalhousie, and you get the first blood. It's another 100 gold right there. Feels good. You can get a little bit of chip damage. We'll get ourselves a turret plate on bottom side. All of this, if we're looking at who the big winners of this early game are right now, obviously I would say that Dalhousie's bot lane has done very, very well. This solo kill in the mid lane does go slightly in favor of Eternal Moon, but right now this Karthus is being kept alive and in shape right now. Already up 2 camps, probably not going to lose your respawn Raptors either, so you're feeling really, really good if you're Chaotic War.
Yeah, this early disruption that we expected in Nefiri to have just didn't pan out early on. We'll see if they are able to make hay on that a little bit later, but again, they have to keep themselves paced up very well, maybe hit level 6 before trying to do anything else. Right now, Swarm down to about half HP, although they have a CS lead for themselves. Struggling a little bit with Eternal Moon because that Q is just always tough to dodge.
Yeah, it's got great range, deals good damage, and it's not something that usually Pantheon wants to get interested in. Maybe I was wrong about this Diana matchup, because the shield from your W is very strong, and if you're getting into an auto battle as Diana, her passive is rather strong, but I'd have to more closely look. And obviously Swarm did get pulled away from the mid wave, so that does give a little bit of credence towards Dalhousie's mid laner doing well. I think you could just kill this guy, by the way. Yeah, just walk him down. Like, who cares?
Yeah, an aggressive look.
The Diana.
An aggressive look, losing about 66% of your HP for that one might mean that Eternal Moon's going to have to take the long walk back to the mid lane. And that should allow Swarm to catch up a little bit in this matchup, at least in EXP, after what they lost on the walk down. Checking in on this top lane here. Resty, still down in CS, but is doing well.
Who cares about top lane? We're going bot lane. Pantheon has ult right now. Go for it. Oh,
Elected not to go for it. I'm a little disappointed by that.
Come on.
You don't get that many opportunities like that.
Sag. All in all, look, if we're keeping up on the bright side here, it does relieve some pressure from bottom lane. So Chaewon and Malcott will have a wave that's in the middle, and they'll be able to recall. And now Chaotic War got the bot side scuttle, upgraded Smite, plus has level 6. Not all that bad. We are playing a slower game where increments, small wins are going to be hopefully what pushes them over the edge.
So far, this game has been quite a bit calmer than our game 1, and especially after the early skirmishing down in the bottom lane, which has really not resulted in a whole lot. Eternal Moon will go in, get stunned on the backside here. Does have that ultimate in the back pocket if they want to go for it. Both Ignites are up. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, we're going all in on Malcott here. Forced to flash away. Big explosion on the explosive charge, too.
They're just getting hammered. This is why I just had so many qualms with this matchup. Just Sona does nothing to stop a Tristana from walking forward, and especially because of the level 1, feels like just everything. The increments that we're talking about going over to West Point are going in the opposite favor for Dalhousie. So right now, we can look, the gold is even, the game is even as it is right now, but Nefiri, hopefully when she hits level 6, can be a little bit stronger, and I do think that Grubs is going to be at an abnormal amount of value this game just because you have a Pantheon in the game. And the opposite side, Diana plus Tristana are massive side laners just by themselves.
Yeah, it feels like maybe a game like last season where you're really putting more of a priority on Grubs here. Swarm trying to walk up, does not know that Loon Celine is nearby. Here comes the Moonfall. Loon Celine was a little late to the play, is going to dash forward, now drop the ultimate down, and they will get it done.
Good. You just use your ultimate, you get control of bot side, you will always have priority thanks to what Harry and Easy King have been able to do in this lane. So, not all surprising to see them do this. Chaotic Wars, if you want to try to contest, I think this is really sketchy because at a moment's notice, Tristana and Thresh can be here, and you will never win this fight. Oh, Pantheon has ult, so maybe you do.
Yeah, we're seeing on the way pings from Army West Point. Easy King moving forward, trying to scare him off with a hook back. Loon Celine is in the back of the pit. Ezreal did not land on them, but here comes Pantheon over the top. Dragon going to be secured, but Loon Celine is dead, and it's a fight on two fronts. Eternal Moon needs to find a way out, but there's the ultimate coming out from the Sona. Big damage coming through by Harry, but he will hop over the wall away. Army West Point win the fight, but lose the Dragon.
Wow, that was really close. That Dragon went down to like 50 HP there. The fact that Nefiri gets that is super, super good. Otherwise, that would have been 3 kills plus the objective. Now you even give over the Scuttle as well. Karthus is really, really fed in this instance, so I think that was a really good response, I think, from West Point. I think going for this grub is a bit greedy, though. You know that they're coming back onto the map. Sona is here, yes, but you're down quite a few amount of buttons in comparison.
There is no Rumble ultimate for this fight because he used it to get a solo kill on Nico. So it looks like Dalhousie will take a peek, take a look. Yeah, all right, they can have those grubs. So going to be out of the hands of this Tristana and Diana. Which is quite unfortunate for Dalhousie.
3 grubs. Good win. Look, this is the best early game we have seen in this series from Army West Point. We're doing good stuff here. We got ourselves 3 grubs. How often are we really going to be able to hit these turrets with really only Karthus and Ezreal being our ranged damage dealers? That, I think, becomes a bit of an interesting question. And might actually make grubs less valuable, but merely just taking them out of the hands of your opponent is somewhat of a win, even if I'm not massively enthusiastic. I'm just looking at these item completions. We already have Blackfire Torch and Eclipse done for the mid-jungle of West Point. Again, big power spike coming through.
On the bright side of that point, because your siege isn't excellent, every stray auto attack you get on a turret does give you more value. So, it helps you out a little bit, but yeah, not overwhelmingly positive about it. What is overwhelmingly positive is now this top lane. We see Orestia has the level advantage. The weak side warrior hasn't needed any help this time around.
Feels good, man. I mean, this is Rumble, man. I like playing Darius early game into Rumble is extremely miserable for good Rumble players. Or for I should say for the Darius players if you're playing against a good Rumble. And so far Orestia has done very decent. But there's not really an objective to play for. We're still about 2.5 minutes before the dragon spawns, so I'm kind of looking for what we can get from Dalhousie after what was a very good game 1, whether or not they'll be able to really kind of leverage the Tristana's lead, because Tristana's actually not really gotten a kill outside of the one they just found on Sona. They've gotten some turret plates, but this is about a 600 gold lead, which isn't very much to write home about for Tristana early anyway.
No, not at all. Given the lane that they're up against, it's, better than you would expect. But given the content of what's happened in the lane, it's worse, right? There are so many kills that look like they've slipped through the fingers just barely, and they've had an advantage all game and have not had too much to show for it. With that dragon fight going so poorly for them, I do wonder if this is going to kind of slow the pace down for Dalhousie a little bit, because they have been playing with less aggression in this game. Given the fact that you've gotten a Fury Diana, I haven't seen enough out of them. We had just that one play in the mid lane, but they have so much damage and so much proclivity to be explosive that we haven't seen.
They've got they've got some time. They don't immediately fall off a cliff. I think it's great that they got the first dragon. Grabbing that for themselves hopefully sets themselves up for success later in the game, but I think this team is going to be super dangerous to play around when we get to 2 items. I mean, Diana on 2 is going to be really potent. Tristana on 2 and 3 is going to be massive. And we still haven't gotten a team fight where both of the top laners are there. I would say Rumble is going to have a lot easier of a job to pull off. You just drop an equalizer and you force a Karthus with no flash out. That becomes, another question that we'll have to see. Thresh also prevents so much of this enemy team. Like, Pantheon tries to jump forward and Thresh is there. Boom, you get a flay. You've canceled the entire ability. Darius tries to walk up, and that's the one thing I want to get across. This mid and this top and jungle for Army West Point have the tools and have the composition both around and against them that I think empowers them to be really, really strong this game. But we need to see them execute on it, because Game 1 gave us very little to work off of in terms of looking at this collegiate squad. And I don't know, I really like Darius in here if we can get him to a bit of a later stage in the game. He just I guess he doesn't have Ghost. That's maybe one thing I would have loved if he had Ghost. You just walk in, you run, and you kill everybody. And there's very little that they could do.
Yeah, and actually I was just thinking about that. And, electing to go for the Ignite in a matchup where obviously Rumble is a melee champion but kind of can play at range a little bit. I was very curious about that. Obviously, it has not panned out. Whenever you take Ignite top, you need to really get a kill in lane in order for it to be very worth it. So we'll see if that's going to be a big punish looking through here for the rest of this game as we're getting back onto the Rifts. Our top laners staring at each other. A real Mexican standoff.
And there's 2 rockets there. How come your mom let you have 2 rockets?
No, wow. That's so many rockets.
It's gone. Okay. Taking a look back at this game, doesn't seem like we're going to be getting all that much. I did want to talk about these 2 teams in terms of their programs and how big they are. For Army West Point, it is more, they do have a varsity and a JV team. I'll hold this here.
Yep, Restia is in a little bit of trouble. That equalizer is going to go down. We're flashing on the other side here, so we are now inverted. The bleed is going to fall off shortly with that. Requiem going to do plenty of damage, most of it shielded away. Restia is now in the danger zone, trying to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Lives for a while, but will go down.
All right. Sucks for Restia, and is very good for Nico, who will hopefully grab this entire wave, maybe even get himself a plate, considering there is crystalline overgrowth. You gonna opt for the recall? No. Good. Let's go get ourselves some more gold after giving that kill over to the Karthus. Loon Celine can try to hunt. I think it's really bad if we use our ultimate. We're a minute and a half before the dragon. I would love if we could save this.
All right, we're dashing in for it. We do save the ultimate, though. More auto attack or Dark and Dagger should do it. No, we do have to burn the ultimate. A little surprised by that.
Okay, so right now, Dollhousey will have priority over this next upcoming dragon. They're going to be the first ones to be able to move. They can set up their top wave. They'll be down 1 ultimate, but same can be said here for West Point. Before you get more items, before you get level 11 and 16, the Karthus Requiem is a very long cooldown, so in terms of ultimate economy, there will be about even going into this fight, but I am expecting for West Point to have to be second to the play and having to figure out how they're going to fix this dragon situation.
Flash hook attempted, did not land. I know that's probably giving you nightmares from playing with me. And we do have Eternal Moon.
It's the same thing, though.
Eternal Moon is on the Storm Surge, so a big spike in damage going to be coming through. We can get this Moonfall on multiple targets. Remember how squishy some of these champions are. We said that Neferi can take advantage. Well, Diana can too.
Sitting in mid, I like this. Take control of the ramp going into river. Seems good to me.
Rough trade to kick things off here. Easy King is on the way, but Chaotic War is here too. Hook is going to go wide. Lantern coming down. Flame misses as well. Listen, Easy King, I've been there, bro. We have all been there.
All right, and we're moving all 5 members down. I like this here from West Point. They know that they're going to have to make this timer happen. Restia has TP. Whether or not we see Dalhousie actually go for this engage is another question. It seems like with Tristana taking a recall, opted for the Collector as well, we're not going to be seeing that. It's going to be the second Dragon of the game going over to West Point. I think they are starting to stabilize here, Yanni, and that is going to be a problem for Dalhousie as we get further.
No doubt about it. Just having that rough trade in the mid lane plus the recall cancel means that that play window has been missed. We're a little inverted here with Darius in the mid lane. The Apprehend's going to come down. So is the Moonfall in response. Nico down about half HP, but is going to dunk Eternal Moon. Ignite on the backside. The last tick does not do enough.
Yeah, Darius versus Diana. Great matchup for the Darius. And now we've got another kill. I will say for Eternal Moon, I think it is incredibly greedy to see the enemy team right now and not try to go for upgraded Ninja Tabbies or plated steel caps, right? Like, we're going for Storm Surge, upgraded Stork Pen boots. That is, that's a very aggressive option right now, and we just lost the 1v1 versus Swarm even before the junglers got involved, and now we've just died to the Darius, and we gave over the Dragon? I'm a little bit question marking what's going on over at Dalhousie right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like your team doesn't have damage, right? You've got magic damage coming out of your Rumble. The extra penetration seems a little unnecessary here. We'll see if they opt to make a change a little bit later into the game. Nothing else in the inventory is a little concerning. The CS number quite low, just below 100 for the current moment. Rift Herald going to be started up here by Dalhousie, so if they're able to pick this one up, could be a way for them to take control back in this game.
Yeah. Getting themselves a Herald. I wonder what lane they're going to prioritize this, because I think you can make an argument that you just wait until you're closer to the next Dragon spawning, and with the Tristana on your team, you'll just take another turret, as we see her doing in bot side, which could be, we saw the Kaisa in particular be a massive win condition for Dalhousie in Game 1. I wouldn't be too shocked to see that coming on through. Or maybe they just try to use this to try to slingshot, considering there is a massive amount of crystalline overgrowth in mid lane, and get maybe the Diana back in this game.
His Eternal Moon's pocket pick right now has been a little muted. Obviously, 2 kills out of 5 is nothing to sneeze at. Hook's going to go down onto this Pantheon. Eternal Moon once in, but the crescendo is perfect. Eternal Moon taking so much damage. The Ignite is on, and they're taken out. Easy King is going to be next on the menu, but he is able to sidestep his way out.
You got hit with the last one there. There's the Requiem.
Oh, see ya!
Another kill. Awesome. And we get to see that Pantheon, the Aegis Assault, just completely stops any of the damage coming on through from this Diana and Thresh. Like, Thresh has very limited combos. We had some worries as to what Thresh was going to be able to do in this game. And after what was a really tough early game for Chaewon and Malkot, nothing came of it, right? The fact that they didn't die in multiple of those scenarios actually has helped save them here in this game. And it's not a massive gold lead, but they're consistently finding plays around this mid-jungle here for West Point.
Yeah, Chaotic War and Swarm are playing quite well together. A match made in non-synergistic heaven, I guess. Flash burn out of Nico here. We do have an equalizer that we're going to drop on his head. Is the burn going to be enough to finish him off? No.
Even with Leandri's. I just realized what Nico's build is. I'll hold this as Swarm.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting build. Swarm almost having success down there, but Eternal Moon is going to get their third of the game. Talk to me about this build.
Youmuu's, and then we're going Force of Nature second. Okay, I can get behind this. I mean, you have Rumble. There's a Diana. I can get behind this. All right, I kind of like this. Early lethality is okay. That wave is hitting your turret, Nico. Are we really stopping the backs here? That's a pretty disgusting wave touching your turret here, but it seems like it wants to just trade plates. Dragon spawns in 45, and no flash for Nefiri, but there is no flash available to this Pantheon. That could be a big boon here for Dalhousie, or maybe an objective that they're going to be looking away from, considering they still have the Herald.
Plating secured for Nico, who does have teleport now with that top lane quest being completed. So does Restia. 20 seconds until that Dragon, as you mentioned. Is Chaewon going to get a plate for themselves here? Tristana has come back with 2 items. We have the Navori Flicker Blade and the Collector compared to just the Trinity Force of Chaewon right now. So a little bit of an advantage here for Dalhousie heading into this fight as they drop the Rift
There we
Herald.
go. Wait, no one's crashing it. No one's crashing it. Guys, we needed more people here. Okay, thankfully it will go. Turret's not going to be completely taken. There's still crystalline overgrowth right now. This is gold not being spent. Oh,
that
my.
missed. That looked like it was on target, but now Easy King is the one in trouble. He's forced to flash away. It's Eternal Moon looking to regroup with the team. Easy King very, very low. You have to try to provide this utility from afar. First one from the top lane, Nico is able to walk all the way down. Dragon, starting
Darius is here now. Rumble will be able to answer with Equalizer from late, but even Tristan on 2 items, she does no damage, right? It's a Collector and Navori. Navori has no combat stats, only has attack speed on it. So you lose out on it, and it has crit chance, but realistically, this Tristana will not do anything until 3 items, and with double longsword, that tells me that we're going for potentially an LDR, which I don't think you really need this game. I would have really liked to have seen an Infinity Edge on 3 be the strongest AD carry and champion in this game right now. Dragon goes over to West Point, and all the signs right now are pointing towards West Point having a better part of this game come 5 minutes from now.
Yeah, they've been looking much better in this early going. The mid jungle, we were wondering if they had some synergistic picks. This is not what I would call the pinnacle of synergy, but they have made it work regardless. Swarm and Chaotic War putting in a lot of work this game. You just saw the mid turret go down, and Dalhousie's farming is a big reason why the gold is in touching distance. It's only a 500 difference for the moment.
Are they going to go for a dive? Pantheon, usually a little bit more difficult to dive onto. This is
Nico's
the game
getting
you
cooked.
don't want to be in. Yeah.
Uh-oh, we've got a flash away. The turret shot, the equalizer did not land. Nico is able to escape.
Yeah, if you saw there, both top laners, if Restia doesn't have flash, it does not matter that Nico is getting flame spittered. He just kills him immediately. He kills the Rumble with 5 stacks of bleed plus the ultimate. So that flash, good for Restia. It's unfortunate that we lost both the flash and the ignite. That'll mean that Nico will have that summoner spell as an advantage going up against their opponent right now. Thank you to our observers toggling the gold right now. It is fairly even across the lanes except for jungle and bottom lane. And that has kind of been the tale of this series so far. Harry being a big player for this team.
Oh, Nico lying in wait. We're going to tag Loon Celine as Easy King says, "Run, my friends, please run away." As they will be the casualty of the play.
That'll be 1 kill going over. Thankfully, you kept not only your Neferi alive, but also your Tristana. Losing access to mid. This might be a mid-tier one falling now with Chaewon here.
Eternal Moon's going to have to try to hold the line here. And Diana not known for wave clear. Loon Celine walking forward. There's the Moonfall. Look at the damage. Swarm's in a lot of trouble. That Aegis Assaulto able to keep them alive. They do manage to find Chaewon, but it's a trade out. Next one, Chaotic War. But here comes the damage from this Tristana. Looking to attack Chaotic War. Leaping back in. Leaping out because Nico shows up to the party. Requiem's going to go down, and the chase is on. There's going to be a flash away as Pantheon dropped the ultimate down. The question is, can this Tristana run away fast enough? Flash apprehend will catch him.
And nothing else being gained there for Dalhousie after a couple of kills. I don't know if I like it, Yanni. I think it's very problematic that we're going to be down flashes going into what is going to be the sole point fight on both sides here. No flash available for Pantheon. No flash for either Eternal Moon or this Tristana. So this is getting more and more worrisome, I think, for Dalhousie, whereas Army West Point, your Karthus is going to be hitting maybe 3rd item after the objective spawns. You already have a 2-item Ezreal and a 2-item Pantheon. You are extremely excited with the prospects of this game, with getting yourselves back into this series with potentially a win. And you have so much scaling on your side. Obviously, we talked about the Karthus, but even the Sona, who's starting to pick up gold, already finished the Halia. Potentially a 2nd item here, whether that's Diadem or some other item like Moonstone. I am really, really excited for what West Point are having and very terrified for whether or not Dalhousie actually have an answer.
Yeah, the longer this game goes, the more and more you're just relying on, okay, Harry's got to be the 6-item champion, right? And get full build and try to hard carry as a late game Tristana. And, you know, this is kind of a reversal of what we expected out of a lot of these players, always being willing to not be the main character and allow their AD carry to be the main character. But we've picked a lot of main character champions in this game, Hulk, and it has been a problem so far. Now, NECC is in a bit of a pickle here. The Apprehend will not do much along with that Ezreal, so quick pick.
Yeah, there's some main character syndrome just walking into the river like that. Good pick means that Dollhouse now have a massive numbers advantage going into this dragon. I don't expect for West Point to try to contest. Right now, let's just push out our waves. You force out
the flash, Chaewon with the sidestep, but they just throw everything they can at Chaewon. Next one's going to be Malkai. The turret dive is there, not even a turret shot to come through. And all of a sudden, Dalhousie has exploded.
West Point, you're never contesting this dragon now. Can we make a play on a side lane? Can Pantheon start playing aggressive versus this Diana? It's 2-item Diana, but you have the upgraded Chain Crushers. Just fight them and have Karthus answer. Maybe Karthus wants to just save that ultimate point. You're about to hit level 16 soon if you can get some more camps, so you're super far ahead. But Dollhouse, he just picked up 3 kills, including the Darius, the Dragon, and they got a top turret. That's a big swing in gold coming in for them.
Eternal Moon going to be very happy with that. Gonna head back and grab a couple of books out of the library, as we are now working on our 4th item for our Tristana. This one we expect to be the Infinity Edge, although you and I expected that to be the 3rd item. Still was just fine in that last fight.
Mortal Reminder feels good when you're playing against a lot of healing coming on through, especially the Sona. So this is now the countdown. We're waiting. Who is going to hit it first? Probably is going to be level 16 Karthus before Infinity Edge is over, but we have seen crazier things happen. We are playing with the Doll LPL, so crazy is somewhat our game. Sometimes our game. Crazy is sometimes our game.
Occasionally crazy. As we did see a couple of very, very forced fights earlier, reminiscent of what we would see at times in our LPL cast. So this is a forced fight in the jungle here.
Good.
And we will come away with it 1-for-1.
Baron? Guys, Baron? Like, enemy jungle's dead for 40 seconds. Also, they used ultimate there. Surely we're just running to the Baron with Tristana on 3 items.
Well, it looks like we're finally headed toward it. But our jungler is lagging behind. We are mostly clearing out vision.
Jump this, brother.
All right. We have waited a very long time. This has allowed Army West Point to get up here. We have NECC, and we have got the bottom lane of Chaewon and Malkai. Hook's going to come down. It's right onto Chaewon. The Equalizer's there, too. It's just a disaster. Chaewon goes down next, and now we're going to look for the Darius, but it's a bit of a split call. Hook does not land. NECC needs the healing, but because of the invulnerability, could not get enough. That's Dalhousie picking up more kills, and they could head back to the Baron if they want.
Yeah, I think going for the Baron's a bit more ambitious now. Let's just spend our gold. We spent a lot of time out on the map right now. It is Navori Flicker Blades. All right, we're going to go for it. It seems like West Point, they don't have an answer for this. 3 of their laners are dead.
No shot you can respond to this one. 27 minutes in the game. Dalhousie has finally woken up and looking much more like their Game 1 selves.
Am I about to be depressed? Because I did say what was going to happen first, level 16 Karthus or Infinity Edge Tristana. It is only going to be a BF sword and a pickaxe. So we're not quite there yet, expecting that Chaotic War will have that ultimate going into this next fight. And in my mind, Yanni, I do think that this next dragon, while not the Sulp, does, I think, decide the game. Because if West Point win this next fight, you're going to be hitting 3 items on a lot of your carries. You have kind of gone over some of the hard points of this game, and you have a super fed Karthus. But for Dalhousie, them winning this essentially just creates a situation where you're always going to be down items, going to be down tempo on the map thanks to them having Baron right now. And it's not like some of the other matchups get much better. I'm looking at this Nefiri. This champion runs over some of these squishier, less mobile champions.
And when you take a look at the other side, a champion like a Pantheon loses a lot of effectiveness. Sure, you can scrap in the fight with the Aegis Assault, but we haven't really seen too many ultimates going down and making these odd man plays. NECC going to get caught in the jungle. The flash got forced out, but they go after him. We're going to drop the Moonfall on him, too, to take him out. Pantheon a little bit late to the party. Now the turnaround is coming on to Malcott. It is a great ultimate, but they still die from the Tristana bomb going down. 5v3 for the next couple of moments. Another hook going down. Chaotic War's the one who gets picked off. Easy King taking a turret shot will fall with the Requiem on top of it. Good shielding, but still a lot of damage through. 4v2 for the moment.
Baron's still up. I mean, Swarm.
Swarm!
This is okay. He uses the Aegis. He'll protect himself. Let's get our recalls in. 40 seconds before what is soul point for either
Trish
team.
Rush!
Doesn't land. Ends up surviving. Let's get our Baron recalls. Okay, all right. We did a little bit of clenching there. Everybody, let's relax. Woo-saw, a breath intake, and we'll try to redeploy back onto the map. Swarm, buddy.
With the flash onto Restia. Restia will go down. A really nice pickup there.
I just don't think it's worth it. Like, sure, it's a kill. Sure, you're going to be now 4v5 going into this play, but Pantheon has no ult. You have no flash ignite. How is he getting into any of these targets? It's, I think, worrisome. You already see that Dollhousey are back out on the map right now. Tristana's Infinity Edge. This is where, basically, the bread gets buttered. The game kind of ends if we can't control this as West Point.
Null Magic Mantle, too, just for a little bit extra protection here. You called it properly. Swarm not around, and that means that Army West Point is a little too afraid to take this fight. That is the third dragon of the game for Dalhousie. A little bit of extra armor and MR, making it a little bit harder for Karthus to close out on some kills.
Yeah, double Mountain Drake, and then if they get Soul, if this game goes to Soul in 5 minutes, yoinks, Scoob. We are going to be looking for the entire gang in the van. They are going to be going missing. So, yep. Right now, this is kind of do or die. We talked about the standings going in. I thought it was rather hilarious that historically Dollhousey, at least in Division 3, this squad has not done very well. They did start this year, to give them some credit. They did the league signups for NECC. They went 1-2. Then we saw them play, and they're currently 3-2 now. But this university has 7 programs in League of Legends alone. And they still have teams in Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, Rocket League. They've got a Smash Bros, some players there, and Valorant.
A long chase here. Nico gets flayed away. Easy King going to be targeted out. Ezreal comes through, does a lot of damage, but Restia dropped a great equalizer. And the Moonfall on top of it will slam the door on Army West Point. It's a double kill for our Tristana. We'll get one back on the Karthus, but it won't mean much. That is an ace for Dalhousie, and the push is on to try and end.
What is that? I think I hear trumpets in the distance. I hear taps being played. Dalhousie are just wiping Army West Point. They're not going to be able to end the game on this push, but they'll be able to break open the base, take open an inhibitor, and now all of that damage that we wanted to see from West Point, it is just going down the drain. They do have a mini wave landing. I mean, 3-item Tristana, you still have 20 seconds before West Point.
All right, first turret's under siege. Malcott's not going to spawn until it's already dead, Ulk. That is GG. Malcott doesn't have his ultimate and does not have a chance. Dalhousie cleans up Army West Point 2-0.
Man, I know it's not been too long, but this really does feel like the Olympics. The Chinese Canadians have beaten up on the Americans. Feels good, man. We're doing great.
They did it again. They can't keep getting away with it. They got away with it. They are going to keep getting away with it. That is a very strong win out of Dalhousie here. And I love the last point that you made about this organization, this program that now has 7 League of Legends teams. In the past, they struggled to field 2. And they didn't just say, hey, we're going to take our highest ranked players and stick them on one team. They've spent time carefully cultivating and figure out, what players work well on what teams, matching personalities and play styles, right? This is their cultivation Donghua, and it's coming in strong.
I think it is so beautiful, by the way, that they have a team in almost every division. They have 2 squads in Division 2. This is their Division 3 team, otherwise known as Dalhousie White. And then they have Division 4, 6, the number that comes after that number, and 8. So I think it's incredible. A lot of teams and universities really struggle to even have 1, much less 2 teams. So to have this much representation, and even if it's at different levels of play, I think it's important not only for a healthy collegiate campus, but mostly just a healthy esports. Because in my mind, esports doesn't just exist for the very top, the very 1% that plays the game at the highest level. It is for everybody. This is a community-wide kind of thing. This is very much built on community.
Yeah, I was, I was a college student very, very long time ago. In fact, well over like 10 years ago at this point. I was a college student for a short time, and there were no league programs, right? Because a lot of them were just, the league was still so new, right? And I wish there was a team. Perhaps I would have stayed in college and just played with that team, and would have given me a reason to hang around and everything like that. And I'm so glad that students and everyone get to, have these colleges that will be like, hey, you know what? We'll put a club team together. We'll play in things like the NECC, and it'll be a good time. Team bonding experience gives you skills for the world outside of college as well. That's what really makes it so great. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because it is truly great that they get to enjoy these things, and you get to do some good along the way, right? I mean, this program, they hosted a LAN back in January. They ran LANs in the past that raised over $100,000 for cancer research. Like, that's awesome.
Well, congratulations over to Dollhouse University. Let's go Canada, please. IRCC, send me my PR card, please. And for Army West Point, we'll get them again. Look, Army West Point, you're going to move down to 3-2. I think playing against Boston University next week is going to be a little bit tougher. So hopefully you can get yourself at least a few more game wins so that it can be a bit more even when we're talking about trying to qualify for playoffs.
Yeah, well, they might be able to get there. If they could knock off Boston University, though, I mean, that's going to throw the entirety of Division III East in flux. So look out for that match on the way. What else you should look out for, you may ask? Well, you should look out for Overwatch, because that is going to be played tomorrow here. Maybe not the same time, but definitely the same place, so you're not going to want to miss it. That's going to do it for us here tonight. We want to thank you all so much for watching. For myself, for my co-caster Alk, for Adam and Chippy and Ramen behind the glass, thank you all for watching. We hope to see you tomorrow for some Overwatch action.